Good morning, folks. This is Waylon Lewis from Elephant Journal, and I had a long day yesterday. I've had already a long morning, and yet I'm not out of the house, so I'm a little bit worse for wear, but I hope you'll bear with me. Today I'm going to talk about something that I was brought up practicing and that I'm a horrible example of, which is mindful communication. And it's a wonderful practice that I've probably not practiced enough in the last while. And mindful communication is probably the easiest shortcut to relationships that are lacking in drama, relationships that are full of love, relationships that actually get stuff done, whether you're in a family or a working environment. If you want to get a lot done without much drama and with a great deal of love and connection, mindful communication is a wonderful way to do that. Coffee from Kicking Horse is also a great way to do that. They're my favorite. They are not a sponsor, but I'm a sponsor of them, a very low-level sponsor. I consume a great deal of it. So today I'm going to talk about the 6 points of mindful communication in Buddhism. Thank God it's Friday. Correct, Leslie from Tustin. And if you're tuning in, just say where you're from. And if you have any questions around the practice of mindful communication. So the title of today's video about how confident people communicate like this and how the rest of us forget to, or when we are confident, you could say, when we are truly confident, grounded, uplifted, breathing, grounded in ourselves. We communicate in this way, a way that most of us forget most of the time. So what way is that? And I'm going to touch in on that. So the 6 points of mindful speech are, number 1, speak slowly. Often, particularly in these videos, right? These videos are often an hour or more. And I feel like I want to make them quick because people have busy days and I have a busy day and I'm rushing through comments and I'm speaking very quickly and I'm rushing, and it gets to be a bit speedy. So that can be fun once in a while. When you hear a great poem or rap, hip-hop. My friend Dave Rogers loves to speak really quickly. But for most of us, most of the time, speaking deliberately, you don't have to speak slowly so much as mindfully, right? So with space as part of your speech. We forget to do that. That's number 1. So if you find yourself being insecure, angry, anything that is not helping you out, you can come back to these points. Number 1, speak slowly. Number 2, enunciate clearly. So this is another one that we often forget. I get teased often about pronouncing my T's, mitten, button, bitten. I don't know why I do it, but the fact is there are 2 T's there. So we can slow down and practice. And if you go online, there are many, many elocution practices. Here's one that Trungpa Rinpoche, the Buddhist teacher who talked a lot about this mindful speech, would have us practice. The British monarch has nothing to say. The English language is splendid. We thoroughly serve and subjugate. Mother will be pleased. The oak tree sits on the pond with lots of birds on it. So I'll put this one, or Renee, who's the editor on duty, can put the full one in the comments. This is mindful speech and elocution in the Buddhist tradition. So obviously the way I was just reading that elocution practice is not the way that we are being recommended to speak in our daily lives. You're not going to go to the grocery store and say, I would like some broccoli. Where is it today? So you don't have to make a trip out of it. It's more just the elocution things are a practice, right? And then they will naturally flood our daily lives and our speech with mindfulness and with elegance and with a more precise means of communicating. So number 3 is where it starts getting really surprising. The first 2 you might guess, right? Speak slowly, enunciate clearly. Don't just rush over your speech. Number 3, however, is listen to yourself. This is one we often don't do. It's almost as if you're in a play, a Shakespeare play, or when you're singing in the shower. You know the power when you're singing in the shower. Suddenly you're feeling a little bit of reverb, a little bit of echo. Or if you shout, Kiki, so, when you're going under a bridge and you're biking. You hear the echo back, and the power of hearing your own voice makes you more mindful, and it's fun. You actually have more fun being conscious of your voice. So that's number 3. Number 4, listen to others. So this is the one that I'm directly referring to in the title of this video. I remember I've been able to interview Michael Pollan and Deepak Chopra and Alice Walker and Arianna Huffington and governors and senators. Of all of the people I've ever interviewed, I think I've only been around one who was just as magnetizing and just as present and just as charismatic and just as powerful when he was quiet, when he was silent, as when he was speaking. And that was Satish Kumar. And Renee could put a blog about him in the comments. Renee's our editor on duty from Elephant, so you can say hey Renee if you feel like it and thank her for her service. So Satish Kumar is the founder of Resurgence magazine, and I got to interview him maybe 14 years ago, 12 years ago now. Elephant's been around for 14 years, and I remember we were all in this big discussion about how to help the world or something. Typical kind of it was at a Bioneers conference, and I remember him sitting there absolutely relaxed and completely attentive in a delighted, supportive way to everyone who spoke. And half the people speaking were college students, people he easily could have, felt superior to or ignored or felt condescending about. All right, number 5, and this is incredibly powerful, and many of us don't do it. I think President Obama does this, and whether you like him or not, this is an aspect of him being a skilled speaker. Regards silence as a part of speech. So the ums and the ahs and the likes and the you knows are all filling gaps. So if we don't know what we want to say, and this is very difficult for me, and you'll see that I'm just passing this along and that I'm actually not a good example of this particularly, but if we don't have something to say, or if we don't know what to say, we don't need to say anything. And this isn't the advice your grandma would give you. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. This is within a sentence, when you're not sure what you're about to say, you can pause until your thought fully forms. Oh my God, this is going to be tough, because I am not good at any of this. But that's kind of the wonderful thing. So in Elephant, it's not about being perfect. It's not about being a teacher or a guru or example. We are all on the path. So I hope you'll be patient with me and learn from how I am not a great speaker. I'm a very good public speaker, but a day-to-day speaker, I'm as sloppy and messy as any of us, if not more. All right. Number 6. It's something like speak concisely or speak simply. And Ernest Hemingway talks about this. Mark Twain talks about this. And I think we have a bunch of people from the Elephant Academy, the new Elephant Academy. It's our biggest one ever by far, I think by 20%, which is a reflection of how popular and well-loved the Academy is. I think we have a total of something like almost 100 people between the auditing section. There's an auditing section where you can just get all the learning, but you don't really work in the field, or you don't have small support groups or trainings. And then there's the main section where you have in-person trainings and small groups, and you have in the field duties social media wise. So what I'm talking about is the Elephant Academy. We have an online training program to teach mindful communication, journalism ethics, blogging, editing, and something else that someone could remind me in comments. And So hopefully a whole bunch of them are here. Yeah, Broncos. I got one of my many old Broncos t-shirts on. And actually, I do feel very conflicted these days about watching football because of all the concussions. I wrote about this 4 years ago. Renee, if you could search NFL ethical concussions, elephantjournal.com, and put that in the comments, that would be great. Many of us know about this now, but if you feel like seeing my thoughts on it, I wrote about it 4 years ago now. Alrighty, so that is the 6 points of mindful speech and elocution in the Buddhist tradition. So growing up in Trungpa Rinpoche's American Buddhist community, this is what I write in this blog, we practiced elocution, speaking precisely with power and beauty, and studied the 6 aspects of mindful speech. It's been a long time and I don't remember the exact wording, but whenever I find myself speaking quickly and saying and ah and like and whatever, I remember them and they bring me back from speediness and spinning my wheels to mindfulness and communication as a two-way street. So, in honor of that two-way street, I'm going to go into comments. So, say where you're from, say how you're doing, say if you have any questions about that. Renee, don't worry about it. Just NFL concussions, put that in the blog. Put that in the comments, please. And if anyone has anything to add about these and or more precise wording or your mindful speech lessons. But basically, this is about how to use our speech to synchronize our body and mind in harmony instead of creating strife, further confusion. So I'm going to go through some comments, and Renee hopefully got that NFL Concussions Ethical blog. There you go. Alrighty. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. And if you don't dance, something or other. All right, Robin from Twain Harte, California. Janet from New Mexico. Sarah from right next door, Louisville. Rochelle from Portland, where I want to move, or at least visit. Janet, take your time. Oh, thank you. You're telling me to take my time. You can watch at your leisure. Yeah, and we have many more focused, more concise, much more professional videos on youtube.com/Elephant Journal. If someone could type that in the comments for me, or if Renee could, that would be appreciated. If you subscribe to that channel, you're helping support Elephant, which is independent media, but you'll just get notifications whenever a new video goes up. And if you look at all the old videos and my interviews and the professionally edited videos, there's some fun stuff on there, including a video in depth on mindful speech. Lisa from Nashville, super cool. I think there's some bike tour that between Nashville and somewhere else that I want to do. Diane from Miami. June from Wexford, Ireland. Palm Bay, Florida. Lauren. Lorena, Guatemala City. This is amazing. Anneli, Trento, Italy, but you're from Finland. Wow. I want to go to Italy in a one-way ticket. Alicia, Arizona. Jessica, Massachusetts. So I'm just going through this because it's fun to see where everyone's from. Athens, Greece. I can't skip this if people want to. Alexandra. Tisha from down south. Church Point, Louisiana. But you're from Montreal. Tamara, I used to love to go to Montreal and pretend to be an adult when I was in high school because you could go up there and have a glass of wine with your pizza. It was very exciting. Becky from Maine. Rebecca from San Jose, California. So the blog for 6 points of mindful speech in business, for business and relationships, and the practice of listening, mind. That's not what I mentioned, but that's fine. Do you have the mindful speech and elocution? I put that in the... Put that in our discussion in the talk show, Renee. And thanks to Renee, as Janet said, and Raven, and Robin, good people, and Mariana. Everyone's thanking Renee. Diana from Brazil, Sao Paulo. How cool. I want to visit. Robin. Kim, thank you. Yeah, so pausing takes relaxation. And there's two kinds of confidence, right? There's the kind of confident speech that I think Trump embodies, which is kind of powerful and you're sort of bragging and you're kind of full of yourself and full of humor, and it's kind of overwhelming. And that's not exactly the confidence we're talking about. We're talking about a confidence that is also open and gentle and involves a lot of listening. So there's two parts of it. One is being confident in the Trumpian way, perhaps, but one is also just being open and listening, and regarding listening as a part of mindful communication. All right, Broncos, Lucera, Lodi, California. Oh, thank you, David. Thanks for thanking. So yeah, if you like Elephant, you want to support independent media and you support yourself and get our very best content, the better stuff than we can get through the algorithm on Facebook, get our elephantjournal.com/best. Renee, if you could put that in the comments. You can dance if you want to. Karen from Sarasota, Florida. Lauren wants to see Redford. I don't know if he's around. Oh yeah, he's sleeping right at my feet. Yeah, it might be hard to wake up. He's right in a big spot of sunshine. I'll just film him. How's that? Redford. Yeah, so he just stretched. He's sleeping in the sunshine. He can sleep if you want to. He can sleep in the sunshine. Yeah, Karen, I and arg a lot. I'm sure I do, especially now since I haven't been out. I like to get out, get coffee, be social, kind of wake up socially before I do these videos. Anyway. Mary, Bridgentine, New Jersey. That's a cool name, Bridgentine. Healing a broken back. Big love to you. Obviously, be gentle with yourself. Don't rush it. Take your time. A little gentle yoga maybe is good. Not like a yoga class, but just stretching what you can stretch safely. I'm sure you know what you're doing. Tiffany, Texas. Nicole, Sheffield in the UK. I want to visit Scotland. Sherry, Clarksville. I'm probably boring everyone, but it's so neat for me to see where everyone's from. Melina, I want to learn elocution from you. Oh, thank you. Well, Melina, I don't think I'm that good at it, but I'm better at it when I write. But that's easier. So writing precisely is also a form of mindful communication, right? Janine from Brooklyn, Dawn from Calgary. If anyone has questions or comments, then I can actually do that. Lori, love from Alaska. Michelle, kind words, thank you. Jelly, yeah, we can dance together. Saltburn by the Sea, UK. Wow, I want to hear you speak. You UKers often have really wonderful elocution. Pepe from Montreal. Rebecca from Halifax. My mom lives in Halifax. Do you know my mom? Linda Lewis. Look her up. She's awesome. You guys should go have lunch at Heartwood or Wooden Monkey or something. She lives right by Coburg Cafe. Angela from Ider, Alabama. Feeling great but tired. Yeah, well, take care of yourself. Laura from New York City. Idaho, St. Louis, California. New vegan. Wow. I just did a video on veganism for people who aren't vegan, people are vegan, and just a discussion about veganism on youtube.com/Elephant Journal. So check it out. You say potato, I say potato. Let's call the whole thing off. Robin, Central Coast, California. Tina, Ottawa, Netherlands, Middle East. Hello to you. This is super cool. I want to visit the Netherlands and the Middle East and Madison, Wisconsin, Ohio, New Hampshire, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Happy Valley, Oregon. This is amazing. Edgefield, South Carolina. So the blog should be in the comments. There you go. There it is, I think. Yeah, Obama does say a lot, but he uses it to delay saying something that he doesn't mean. So it's kind of effective, but probably not as effective as just speech. McAllen, Texas. Redford. Laura, yeah, so we're just talking about mindful speech today. We do these videos every single day, and they're pretty popular, which is kind of fun. They've been getting about 20,000 views in the first 2 hours, and then they go on YouTube where they do whatever they do. Yeah, I do these videos 5 times a week. Kurti. Hello from Camden, Tennessee. Lancaster, Ohio. Sligo, Ireland. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Houston, Texas, where you have a great children's museum. Hey from Scotland, wow. So our lead editor, Emily Bartran, is just moving there. You guys should connect. Wendy, High Desert, California. I think you can click the links after. All right. Finally, a question from Renee. How about sharing a tip for how to get writing? Well, how to get writing? You mean how to get started writing? Janet from Guntersville, Alabama. Yeah, if you have any questions about writing or mindful communication, hit me. Alexandra, I'm so long-winded and flowery when writing. I would love a little light on this, pretty please. So nothing's wrong with being long-winded and flowery when writing. One of my favorite writers, Kerouac, I used to have a framed picture of him right here, but now it's in our office, used every adjective in the book, right? So write the way you write. But within that, if you are naturally long-winded and flowery, you can kind of self-edit when writing. And self-editing isn't censoring. It's not being uptight. It's really just, it's like shaping, if any of you do pottery, it's like shaping, your pottery while it's on the wheel. And that's a really powerful practice when you're writing, to kind of edit when you're in the moment. It's probably much more effective in my view than editing afterward, when you can get a little bit judgmental and out of the mood that you were in. Magnolia from Washington. Oh, there's some writing tips from me, from Renee. So thank you again, Renee. Rebecca, Bargersville, Indiana. To me, I think if you want to write and you're not writing, then you should just start writing. There really is no how. If you want to write, you will write. Probably the only how I would recommend is getting a nice setup. Do you want to write on your laptop? Do you want to write in a journal? And once you have your setup, keeping that setup there so that you can just do it every day easily. So I like to practice calligraphy. I have my calligraphy journal and pen just set up so I can just do at least one word every day. And it's a really powerful relaxation practice for me, as well as just fun. All right, Maine, UK, Sutton. The song I'm obsessed with right now, this is probably completely inappropriate and people don't want to hear it. You can feel free in comments to say this is totally distracting. It completely is, really. But it's so good. I'm going to just play it for you guys right now. And then we'll leave. How's that? All right, Barnsdale, Australia. There's a girl I have a big crush on in Australia. What else is new? Robin Pitkin, Chrissy, South Lake Tahoe, Deanna from Alabama. Yeah, exactly. Well said, Carrie. We're gap fillers, and we can allow the gap. As they say about the subway in the UK, mind the gap. Central Florida, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Sarasota, Florida, Gatesville, Texas, Glasgow. Wow, this is amazing. Beirut, Lebanon. Wow. Hello to you, Rana. Parker, Colorado, not too far away. Oh my God, these comments are endless. Washington, D.C. Okay, Wendy, here's a fantastic question from Wendy. I'll skip my dumb song. Mindful communication with a spouse who doesn't like to communicate. Well, that obviously is a tough one. First of all, I would let go of the notion that they don't like to communicate. If they don't like to communicate, maybe they don't like to communicate when they're under pressure. They don't like to communicate in the way that you like to communicate. Everyone likes to communicate in some way. Introverts like to communicate that they don't want to communicate and they want to be left alone. So that is communication. So first of all, give them some space. And the space isn't exactly like let them get away with not communicating. It's really just give them some respect. And you give yourself respect as well. Give yourself the respect to say, look, I'm asking if you want I'm asking if you would like to go to lunch, or if you would like to talk about the fact that you don't do the dishes, or if you would like to go out to this party with me, whatever you're trying to communicate about, you can give yourself the respect to say, I would like a response on this, and you can be honest. So it's really just about mutual respect for yourself and for them. And within that, I wrote a book kind of about this. Relationships have to include space in the way that the earth includes water. 75% of the earth is water, so 75% of a relationship needs to be space, and that's the space you can dance with. Space isn't cold, barren. Space is what we communicate through. It's acknowledging our individuality within a relationship. The book I wrote is called Things I Would Like to Do With You. If you want to read quotes or anything without buying the book, you're more than welcome to, and we could put a blog with the Things I Would Like to Do With You quotes in the comments. Kentucky. I've been told I could write a great book for years. I have no idea what to do. My grammar and punctuation are totally yikes. Tricia, that doesn't really matter. I mean, grammar and punctuation definitely matter. But in terms of your voice and in terms of your message, just write your best, write your worst, and let folks edit it. Do your best. Don't worry about the grammar and punctuation. That can be cleaned up. One of my best friends is one of the best writers I know, Graham Markell. Renee, if you could put a couple blogs by him in the comments. He has a wonderful, rich, personal voice that just jumps out of the page. Graham Markell. He wrote about fixing up a fixie. He wrote about how compostable to-go cups are like a Trojan horse for bad environmentalism. Renee, if you could find one of those and put it in the comments, people could enjoy his writing, and he's horrible at spelling. So the main thing, Tricia, I would say to you is forget about writing a book. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in a good way. Forget about this huge writing the great American novel. For many years, I thought about that. I read all the greats. I loved writing. I loved reading. And I thought about writing a book. And I wrote a fair amount of books, about 3/4 of the way, but it was always sort of forced. Instead, just think about writing what you want to write. Think about writing what you have to say. Think about writing what you know. Think about writing what you delight in, and write that. And it could be one chapter. It could be one paragraph. It could be one haiku. It could be one short story. And then if it's natural, if it's genuine, it'll start flowing. There's a book I love called Dharma Art. I think it has a new title now, but I recommend people check that out. It's by Trunk Broomshay, and it's about the notion that art isn't a manifestation of our ego. Art is a manifestation of being genuine and communication and being helpful to others. So if your writing is coming about out of wanting to be great, that's a bit of a twist. It's kind of like, if you're a farmer or you're making a wine from your vineyard, if your wine is coming out of wanting to be great, that's not quite what it's about. Great wine will come out of loving the grapes, respecting the grapes, treating the grapes well, making sure the whole process is really mindfully done. So that's how writing works too. So Tricia, I would just say start small, and then before you know it, like with my book, you'll have a book. It just happens. It will just unfurl naturally, and it'll be much easier than you would think. And don't worry about your grammar. I mean, you could worry about improving it, and that's worthwhile. But if you're actually in the process of writing, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Zach from Aloha from Boise. I love that. Thank you, Zach. Super sweet comment. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I do have a routine around writing. This is a question from Alexandra. My Buddhist teacher, Sakyong Mipam, says, try and write at the same time, same place, have a nice setup, make it a deliberate, mindful practice. I, however, do not do that. I write whenever I feel inspired to write, and it's that simple. And wherever it happens, whenever, I just write whenever I feel it kind of bubble up like a tea kettle that's about to boil. You turn it off right before it boils. That's perfect for coffee or tea. That's how I write. So it's pretty simple, but I think that's actually not that simple. It's an important distinction because for years I tried to write and push it and create something great. And instead, if you just relax and let it happen when it happens. So when I wrote Things I Would Like to Do With You in my book, I would write 4 chapters in one week, and then it might be 4 months before I wrote another chapter. And you have to kind of wait until it happens. And you wait for something genuine to write about. And if you force it, that may not be great. But everyone's different. A lot of great writers will write every morning and they'll say, I have to write 10,000 words or 5,000 words, and then I'll let myself go. I mean, I think practicing writing is fantastic too. So I do write blogs almost every day, or did for many years, and that's a wonderful way to stay in practice as well, to write little things every day. Write in a journal. Hello from Maine. Jean Allison, can you suggest some software that will store my writing and do spell checks also? I mean, Microsoft Word or whatever Apple's version is, any of them will do spell checks. I love tracking changes for editing. If you can track your own edits, that's fantastic, or others' edits. Any computer will store your writing. I think we would always email it through Gmail after I was done with a chapter, just to make sure it was in the cloud. So if my laptop blew up, it was safe. Mimi, powerful question. I have a bipolar 2 disorder and have been practicing mindfulness exercises as part of my cognitive behavior therapy. Mindfulness communication is a big part of that, so that I don't ramble when in a manic episode. Any tips for a better practice? Mimi, you are out of my depth. You are way ahead of me in terms of what you know. But what I do for myself is I love to sing in the shower. I love to sing, say, 10, a medley of 10 of my favorite songs over the course of a week. That's a kind of mindful communication with yourself, and it's joyful and it's fun, and there's that echo that you get. I take pretty short showers, so I really only have time for half a song. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey, and up she rises. And it sounds much better when you're alone. And when you're in a shower that echoes. Bad news has come to town. Bad news is carried. Some say my love is dead. Some say he is married. Whilst I was pondering on this, I took to weeping. They stole my love away whilst I was sleeping. Had an old dog and his name was Blue. Bet you $5 good dog too. Had an old dog and his name was Blue. Bet you $5 good dog too. Singing I blue. Okay, I'll spare you guys, but it's so fun. So pick like 10 of your favorite songs and sing them. And it, it's like yoga for your body, speech, and mind. You'll just, if you look at that chakra stuff or your central channel stuff in acupuncture or any of that, it'll just kind of clear it all out, sew it all up. And you don't even have to think about it in terms of health. Just have fun. So that, and I do think, Mimi, listening to great audiobooks, like Renee, can you dig up the Better Listen special? It might be in the talk show if you search Better Listen, one word. We have audiobooks from Alan Watts, who is a delightful voice, or Pema Chodron, who has a delightful voice. Listening to people speaking who are fun to listen to speaking is really powerful. And then I think practicing this mindful communication, the mindful elocution, could be powerful. Reading some poetry to yourself, writing in a journal. These are all powerful. So everyone give Mimi some big love. Mimi, wonderful question. Jennifer from Oak, Florida. Or you could criticize Mimi for getting me to sing, which was a crime against humanity. All right. Cappadocia, Turkey. Wow. Jules. Craig from St. Louis. What song? Salt Lake City, Utah. Mars Hill, Maine. Talk to my hand. Carolyn, I like the concept of finding your voice in writing and even talking. I'm seeing my oldest son find his own voice in his writing. It's amazing how it emerges. How do you feel about that? Yeah, Carolyn, a lot of people don't focus on their voice in a sense. Your voice is the most powerful, most personal, most charming, charismatic thing. And your voice is not you being big and exciting. Your voice is you being you. And when you get to your voice being you, being genuine, that's something I want to read as an editor at Elephant Journal. So if any of you want to write, you can publish on Elephant. That's how I wrote my book. I wrote one chapter at a time, put it up on Elephant Journal, elephantjournal.com/submit. Yeah, Alexandra, if you want more on that, you could check out my book if you like. I don't like to be too self-promotional, but I think it was kind of a sweet book on communication relationships. Oh, Alexandra, thank you. Yeah, people can find my Instagram.com/Waylon Lewis or /Elephant Journal. We put up a lot of good quotes. Woo! Laura, yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes. But let there be spaces in our togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. I think you're right. Kahil Gibran. Today is a story worth telling. I love that. Lori, I think just writing a journal of your day is a beautiful and powerful and fun thing. And it can be very helpful. You're having trouble, Renee, finding the Better Listen one? Which one? Magnolia, I'm a poet, have thousands of poems. With all the blogging and online publication has discouraged me from trying to publish in paper form. Do you have anything to say on this? I think books are overblown. I don't think you need, particularly in this day and age when Amazon is devouring independent publishing and writers, and books are almost all plastic lined. Things I would like to do with you was plastic free, but that's very rare. I think books are pretty horrible for the environment. They're also really fun to be able to read. I love to read books. I can't blame you. But I think if you're going to publish a book, try and make sure that it's truly eco and responsible. And you continue, how does our writing not get swept away with a big wave of online publishing? I publish a lot online, it's great. I published a book too, but I have a thing about creating collections, not the same with online publishing. Can't touch the paper. Yeah, so I think do what you like. I mean, I think online publishing is fantastic. I think if you read your poems on YouTube or something, I think if you publish on Elephant, we would love that. I think just communicating in any form is great. And I think reading, everyone loves to read a magazine or a book, but it's really just about communication. So wherever you want to publish, I think honor that. Alexandra with an amazing quote from Oscar Wilde. I never travel without my diary. I always need something sensational to read on the train. I love that. Oh, the song I was going to play for you. I'll end with that. How's that? Yeah, Robin, we don't have like singing pubs in Boulder too much. We just have a lot of drinking pubs. Okay, a great comment from Dre. It's yours, not ours. Ginger problems, hashtag. Kim, wonderful to hear that. Yeah, there's a lot of helpful relationships articles on Elephant. So let's all join together wherever we are, all over the world, and meditate for 1 or 2 minutes. Meditation is just coming back to the present moment. It's a wonderful state of being to write or to communicate from. So if you'd like to join, eyes open, take a deep breath. Hands flat on your thighs. Take a great posture. And then relax. You can root your sit bones, connect your head with the heavens above. Breathe deep and relax. So this is Buddhist shamatha. And then I'll play that silly song as we tune out. Breathe out. Breathe in. If you hear the wind, if you hear the cars, if you hear people talking, just acknowledge that. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And here's where the meditation starts. If you find yourself thinking about something, I was just thinking about this vegan brunch in Boulder. You can acknowledge, I'm thinking, and notice that. I'm thinking, and return your attention to your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. So practice that again and again. Noticing your thoughts, say thinking, come back to your breath. That's the practice of meditation. You'll naturally start training your mind to come back to the present moment throughout your day. If you've liked this video, give it a like. Like. It helps this video get seen by others. It helps it be shared beyond the choir. That's super helpful, since we don't want to just talk to ourselves. If you liked it, share it. And if you liked it, subscribe to youtube.com/elephantjournal. And write, elephantjournal.com/submit, or get our newsletter, elephantjournal.com/best. Yeah, Terry, I am tired. I explained that in the beginning of the video. I'm actually almost sick right now. It's been a pretty long week. But I am cheerful, and that is because you all, Terry and everyone, have really been there for me today. This has been one of our most popular videos ever. And I am going to play you a song. And you can listen to the rest of it on your own, if you like it. It's an old one. Coming to you from 1983 is Tears for Fears with... I'm pretty obsessed. All around me are familiar faces, worn-out places, worn-out faces, all bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, the tears are filling up. I'll spare you the rest, but I'm going to sing it on my own.